Now, one of the true legends of the sport of mixed martial arts is joining us right now. He is on hold. Can't wait to get to him. He faces Michael Bisping, UFC on FX7, Sao Paulo, Brazil, next Saturday night. That is January 19th, live and free on FX. He is the phenom, the old lion, the new lion, the young dinosaur. I don't know what he is. He is Vitor Belfort. Vitor, how are you?
I'm good, man. I am the banaya. You can call me banaya.
Banaya?
Banaya, yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, man, you got to read his story and you know it. It's too long, but bottom line, he went in the pit on a snowing day and slay a lion in a pit on a snowy day. So, and then he got a Philistes, very tall with a long spear. So he was a warrior. So he defeated many giants. So he was a warrior. Naya was a man of war, a mighty man of King David. So it's a pretty amazing story. And when I met that guy, I was in love and very attached to history in my life, because our wars, the many battles that we face is not inside the octagon. Inside the octagon it's a great celebration day and a competition, but every human mankind has to face battles, and many battles is just faces in our privacy, in our minds, in struggles that we just got to stand firm and fight, and don't lose the faith. So that's about it.
Man, I don't even know what to say at this point. I feel like I should just say goodbye. How can I follow that up with any kind of question? Dropping knowledge right off the bat here on the show. That's why we love you so much, Vitor.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, and as well, I really admire your work for what you're doing, and just the way you bring you just hear you interviewing the vice president of Showtime, and you just bring in knowledge to the sport as well. It's very important that we just send the message to the fans, and you guys really help the sport to grow, because you guys are a very important piece on this puzzle, just as the fighters, as the promoters. So we're fighting for the same motives. We're here to. That's our milk and bread, and we need to fight for that with all we have.
Well, now I'm blushing, now I'm sweating, now you've got me all flushed, but I appreciate the words very much. Coming from a legend like you, it means the world to me, so thank you very much, Vitor. I want to ask you about this fight in Sao Paulo against Michael Bisping, a very important fight for both of you. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you make of this matchup? Do you like this matchup against Michael?
Yeah, man, he's a great fighter, a great warrior. Michael he doesn't pick fights. He faces whatever they put in front of him. I have a lot of respect for him and looking forward to face one of the best guys on this weight division. And I'm very happy. I'm very blessed to still fighting on the level of these fighters I'm not talking about age. I'm just talking about the season, the people on the sport. I've been on the sport for 17 years and still fighting on this level of competition and keep it up. And I'm so motivated. Today is the first time in history that I weighed 195 after my practice. I just finished my sparring. And so even in this week, I'm cutting weight, cutting the calories. So feeling young, man. Hearing from Rashad Evans saying, man, Victor, you look like 18 years old again, So I'm very motivated and I'm very blessed to still have passion to work, passion to fight, and passion to perform, and do it with. And everything that I do as I'm doing for God, So I'm doing my best. That's what I can promise to you. I'm doing my best every day.
We had Michael on the show recently. I asked him about this fight, and he had a very interesting thing to say, among many interesting things. And I want to play you this clip. It's like 8 seconds long. This is what he had to say about what he had to look out for when he fought you on January 19th. Here's the clip.
I thing I've got to watch out for is punches to the back of the head. You know, I've got to watch out for those radical punches because he does like to punch people in the back of the head. So other than that, you know.
So there you have it. He says the main thing he has to look out for is punches to the back of the head. What do you make of that? That's illegal. Is he calling you a dirty fighter?
I don't even hear, man, what he says. His English is so difficult to understand.
well,
just don't turn your head. Just don't turn your head. Keep your head straight.
Do you look out for that? Is that something that you try to do?
I just trying to knock people out. You know, if you're trying that, you know, this is dirty. You know, that's duty. Is to knock people out. That's my job. So, you know, people say whatever they want to say. And like, if you want to give excuse, God will provide one for you. So maybe He already provided His excuse already. So I don't know. I cannot judge anybody. I only can judge myself. And I'm a very honest fighter. When I step into the cage, that place is a holy place for me, and I respect my opponent. I'm very glad that he's there to perform with me. So I'll promise I will be there with full commitment. So I'm preparing myself. So I'm not here to talk anything, to say anything. The only thing I can say to you, I will be there with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my spirit.
Do you think Michael Bisping has a weak chin?
Man, you know, I don't think anything. I just thinking about myself. I don't know. You know, for me, he's a great fighter, a great warrior, and I'm gonna go, just be there. You know, just do what I know and do what I'm capable to do. And that's the beauty of the sport. You know, man, anything can happen in that cage. So I'm making sure that, you know, in January 19, I rule that cage.
UFC President Dana White said that if he wins, he's going to get a title shot, but they didn't really say the same for you. Does that bother you?
I don't care. Doesn't change anything in my life, my friend. God is my provider, and I have a fight, and I'm winning. That's the only thing I know. I'm winning. So I already told Dana, you know, choose another guy for face Anderson because he's not going to pass through me. So that's the bottom line. You know, I'm glad that Dana is not God. You know, he's a great president of the sport, a great promoter, but that cage, I will have the dominion and I will have the chance, and that's what the beauty of the sport about it. But you know, that's his toy. You know, the UFC belongs to him, and I respect that, and I'm very honorable to him and to Lorenzo, to the organization. When they need me, I'm there. When they need me to fill a spot, I'm there. They know what type of fighter I am, and so I work hard for the organization. But bottom line, he's the one that makes the decision who fights who, you know, what fight.
Do we lose Vitor? I had a great follow-up. Is he gone? It appears as though he's gone.
Looks like he's gonna call him back.
Dang it. Great stuff from Vitor Belfort. I mean, I could just listen to him speak all day long. Comes out talking to us about King David, this guy who beat up everyone. It's just amazing. True legend of the sport. Of course, the last time we saw Vitor in action was UFC 152 when he almost pulled off the armbar of armbars against John Jones, and actually wanted to speak to him about that because we haven't heard from him since. And that was back in September. You recall one of it felt like, as Meltzer was talking about earlier, when Verdum had the triangle, it felt like time stood still there for a second in Toronto, and I believe we have him back now. Vitor, are you there? Vitor?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sorry, we lost you. Just a couple minutes left. I want to ask you a question. I noticed you have a bit of a new haircut, like a mohawk. Any specific reason why you changed the hairstyle?
Just I feel like I'm in this mood of I wish I could have painted my face as a warrior. You know, I would have do that myself. I'm just in the mood of that zone, you know, of that that zone to get ready for war. That's just something that come up, just things that rise up and you just do it. And that's about it. It's just getting like I have the priesthood outfit. I'm serving, I'm always helping people, but also I have the kingdom garden, the king, and if you study the kings in the past, the kings, they used to go to war, stay on the front of the battle. So like William Wallace, you have all these guys they used to be leaders. So you got the Jesus, who lead people. They don't tell people to go. Today a leader just tell them, hey, you do this, you do that. I don't believe this is a real leadership. So, and then just something that rises up inside of me, and I feel glad to do something that just get me on my mood, just part of nothing special.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I think
just
it's great.
That mood, yeah.
And the last time, as I mentioned, when we were trying to get you back on the phone, last time we saw you, of course, was in September, one of the great moments of the year. You almost submitted John Jones with an armbar. It was unbelievable. You fought valiantly. How often have you thought of that moment? What you needed to do, just something a little differently? You could be the UFC light heavyweight champion. Is that something that you have thought about, stayed up at night, dissected? Do you still think about that moment?
Oh, I digest already, man. The worst thing for a man, to stay on the path. The path is something that you have to learn. Your mistakes has to increase. Your failures, you have to boost as a gas to your future. So the worst thing for a man is just to have, regret has to make you go into the next level, not to stay on the same level. So I recognize that was a day, that was a beautiful moment. But, that's what it is. People say, Victor, you didn't lose, you almost won. Just the whole attitude, the whole thing, the whole history, I was in the cast. I was with a broken hand. I had a pin on my arm, and then I took the pin out. Then the doctor released me to start training and hitting the pads. And right after, I saw these things, and I just positioned myself to fight. I think it's a great challenge. And I didn't have a lot of time to train, but, I took it. It's a challenge, you know what I mean? And I almost won. So bottom line, if you take the whole thing, you're trying to digest the whole history. So it was good, overall was good. And just live it. You have to just recognize your mistakes, go back home, work it, and see what you make the mistakes and what you can adjust. And we have to realize too, like John Jones stood it, and he took he really had a messed up arm, and he's still maybe surfing with that thing, but he won. We have to recognize he won and he did good, and that's what we do. We just keep pressing in, and we're looking for new challenges, and my new challenge is Michael Bisping, and I'm about to accomplish that mountain. I'm climbing that mountain, and that's where we go next. The next step is my vacation with my family.
Two more questions for Vitor, and then we'll let you go. I got to ask you this question. A commercial came out from the Combate channel, the combat channel in Brazil, and it's one of the best commercials I've ever seen. I want to play it for the people first if they missed it, and then I have to ask you about it, what it all means. Here's the commercial here. Vitor Belfort singing while playing the guitar. It's unbelievable. Here it is.
Alguma coisa acontece no meu coração, que só quando cruza a Ipiranga e a Avenida São João. É que quando eu cheguei por aqui, eu nada entendi da dura poesia concreta de tuas esquinas, da desalegância discreta de tuas
O UFC São Paulo é no Combate.
E aí?
What was that? I mean, it was beautiful. I felt it like melting in your hand. But what exactly were you saying there?
He's just a famous. Caetano is one of the famous singers from Brazil, a great musician. his music about São Paulo. So they just threatened me, say, "Hey man, I'm trying to sing that song. I was such in a hurry, and like I was." And then that's what it is,
It's beautiful.
I think the only time I sing good is when I'm worshiping for Jesus, because Jesus doesn't look to your voice; He looks to your heart. So I think when I'm worshiping, I sound better because it comes from the heart. So when you don't know a song and you're trying to be a musician, that's not my gift. I understand that, and I recognize it. So that's the beauty. So when I'm worshiping, I think I'll do better.
Well, I loved it. You don't have to give me any excuse. I thought it was great. I loved seeing that side of you. Last question, Vitor. January 19th, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Will you knock out Michael Bisping?
Oh, man, looking forward.
All right.
Looking forward for that, buddy. I'm looking forward. And Ari, I got to say again, thank you very much for your kindness, your generosity to the sport, your classic. And let's press it in, man. We need to make MMA one of the mainstream sport in the whole world.
Amen.
So, counting on you. And January 19, big victory. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support for the fans, for UFC, and I'm working very hard. I'm in the best shape of my life. I never made weight so well in my life, and I want to thank Mike Doce, all my trainers in Black Zillions. I want to thank my wife, my kids, my trainers, Gilbert, Henry Hoof, Maurice Perry, the whole Black Zillion team, and Glenn Robson. I thank a lot of people, Pedro, all my spiritual leaders, everyone that prayed for me, and I'm very, very pumped for this fight. So looking forward to it. But let's win today, because today makes tomorrow happen.
There he is, a true legend, a true class act in our sport. One of a kind, Vitor Belfort. Thank you so much, Vitor. Good luck on January 19th.
Thank you. God bless you, my friend. Bye-bye.
The Phenom stops by, drops knowledge like no other. He is truly, truly often imitated, like in the studio, but never duplicated. He is Vitor Belfort. Unbelievable stuff from Vitor there. That is one of the best main events on free television. I mean, Michael Bisping versus Vitor Belfort. I had a discussion with someone about this. As far as Michael is concerned, it's a tricky fight. It's a dangerous fight. Someone who can strike like Vitor Belfort, his quickness, even at his age, his boxing. For Michael, you could make the Anderson Silva fight right now. I mean, no one would complain about that. He's been in the sport long enough. He's done enough. It's a dangerous fight with that title shot looming. For Vitor, he's got nothing to lose. I mean, he fought Anderson. He fought John Jones. He's got nothing to lose in his home country of Brazil. A very dangerous fight, and it goes down January 19th, the first UFC show of 2013.